think both sides have pretty good win conditions lined up here. No real glaring weaknesses in the drafts here either. I think my one concern is really more on outsiders for XM. The Ursa here can get kited around a lot. A Drow standing a mile away, even if you blink up, Gust is just an easy bailout for the Drow. Hurricane Pike's there as well. It's just getting on top of the Drow. It's going to be harder for XM, so you're going to be relying on Echoes, maybe Xiao Ma to try to get a toss back and gap close for your team. So it's all about execution. I think in a very equal net worth setting, in a very equal game state, it's a bit easier to play Pokes Draft, in my opinion. But you have some combinations on the side of outsiders, which, considering that most people consider them, and but pretty much all of us kind of expect them to just be the better team, they can execute on. It's just a little bit harder. And if Poke plays how they played in Game 2, considering, again, just the more straightforward nature of their draft, it might be... It just generally presents more opportunities for you on Poke's end to just take some favorable engagements.
Let's see how it all pans out, of course. Again, both teams playing for a lot here. A lot on the line between these two. Bannerun's going to be an even trade 2 for 2. Neither side wanting to go for those early engagements. I suppose we'll start with this laning phase. Of course, bot lane, you're going to have Lunfer there along with Ranfu Dao. Pretty strong laning duo here with the Drow Tusk. Of course, going to be up against Ava on the DP once again. And Xiaoma going to be playing the Tiny. What do you think about that bot lane? Like, the Tusk Drow does seem very, very potent, but against DP, it can be a little bit tough to really know.
It's pretty damn good. I think the first 3 levels are going to feel a lot better for Poke. For outsiders, it does feel like you need level 2 Spirit Siphon to force Ranfu Dao away. And even then, DP against a range core, you're not going to be able to be on top of that range core as the DP. So your only hope is to kind of harass out Ranfu. Xiao Ma is going to need some levels as well on the Tiny to get some Avalanche tossback plays. Maybe put Lanfer out of position. That's really the time you're looking for, but that's at least like level 3 for Xiao Ma, going for a 1-1-1 build. So it's going to take time there.
Absolutely. Of course, top lane, you're going to have XM and outside against Killer and Eren. Killer taking a fair bit of damage, and so has Eren on the Rubik. Another lane that feels kind of dominant, like in terms of safe lane. The Ursa Lich, something that you can't really underestimate. Just so much slow potential to allow XM to close the gap. We'll see how they try to play this out on Poke, but it doesn't feel like the easiest lane in the world here for the Radiant side.
Yeah, it's not. And you have a lot more playback with XM if Killer walks up a bit too close. Easy harassment, you've got good slows coming from outside, and they can just jump in like this.
That they can. Killer going to be in a lot of danger here as the Frost Shield and Frost Blast really slowing him down, and the damage output is just so darn high. XM even thinking about going for a dive on Eren, may just go for it because he does have the Earth Shock, but seems like he just wanted the Ring of Health. We'll leave Eren be, no need to risk his life for this. Meanwhile, bottom side looks like Xiaoma dropping very, very low on the Tiny, but they cannot keep up with the man, so he will be able to get out just fine. But speaking about the top lane again for a moment, it feels like every single time the creeps are nearby the Dire Tier 1 tower, you are going to be in danger as Killer.
Yeah, you're not going to be safe. You're just going to get run down. There's not too much you can do on the Rubik to save you there, especially considering that the lift back early levels just feel like an atrociously long cooldown. Oh boy.
It's just so strong. He'll go for a TP play out, and luckily for him, there is no Sinister Gaze yet. So he is going to be alright, but that does mean he has to make the walk back up to the Tier 1 tower, and that should mean XM can just continue bullying Killer away from this lane.
Yeah, he can just keep it under his own control. I think the one thing is that this is some much needed solo EXP for Killa. At the least, you can try to rush into your level 3, level 4 with a little bit of room out, but the offlanes aren't the easiest positions. It does feel like the offlane of Outsiders is going a lot better in comparison to Pokes. Like Ava and Xiao Ma are able to apply more consistent damage onto Lanfer. And you're not really seeing Poke play with that tag team and Frost Hours combination all too much. Like the fact that you are still a melee support. If you do get close to the DP, Spirit Siphon's still huge, and Lanfer's alone right now.
Certainly is. Lunfer gonna drop Ava, able to dive with Xiaoma. Our task Ranfu Dao was kind of rotating back towards his courier, maybe for the 3-minute boundary rune as well. But that's a pretty big pick off here for the side of Outsiders from China. Well, so far so good. Yeah, you really can't complain if you're the dire end of things. Everything just kind of going smoothly for him.
Yeah, I think the one lane that maybe is a little bit slower has been the mid, which we haven't really looked at. Puck versus Zeus. Zeus can just control the lane a lot better. Puck, your only wave clear is really down to Orb and maybe Waning Rift if you're up close. But you have a lot more poke and play from small KK. Rune control is important here, but neither supports are really making a big fuss about it. Both sides do get their bottle top-ups. Our Rune's probably the big one. When it comes to support rotations, you can get something going with Ranfu and with Aaron going down mid if they see the opportunity. You do have enough lockdown to punish a Puck. But whether or not they can leave these side lanes, but how it's going for the side of Poke, it doesn't feel like they can. They're not going to be able to get anything done if this just keeps up, if this pressure from outsiders just maintains.
Yeah, certainly so. Top lane, Aaron going to be chased down. Again, the Frost Shield, so effective here, along with the Ursa, but the lift away is going to allow him to close the gap. So Aaron gonna make some distance here with the lift. Killer going for a bit of a chase onto outside, but can't really keep it up without the Scorched Earth. It's going to be forced to back away. That bottom lane as well, still looking really tough for the side of Poke. Like, you've got a very strong duo, but it just hasn't really panned out. Ava really just dominating the lane here on the DP, and you've always got to be wary of the toss back from Xiaoma, because if Lonfer gets tossed, he's got zero way out. As top lane, here we go again. Frost Shield out. They're on to Killer this time around. Lift has already been used up by Aaron. XM waiting for the Earth Shock, though, is dropping a little bit low, but is going to use the stick charges. Still going for the chase, but may get punished. Needs one more hit, and he will get it just before he dies. So you can make the argument it is worth it for the Ursa. So he does find the Doom, the XP, and the gold. And he'll be able to TP back to the top lane, no problems.
Yeah, you're pretty alright with that. You get the kill first as well, so you don't give the Doom the EXP that he really needs in the lane. And you just get a bit of a reset. You know, your aggression's paying off up top for the side of outsiders. For Poke, it's a bit concerning because your Doom will want to farm and so will your Drow. So your only play early on is going to be on small KK. They are going mid early here. Killa already showing up just to get control over the Power Rune, but that's not what you necessarily want to see from your off lane at 6 minutes in. Like, yes, the Power Runes are important, but a support should be doing.
Yeah, it's kind of tough, right? Like, because Killer's stuck at level 4, so he's trying to have some impact here during the laning phase by securing that Power Rune for Zeus, but like you said, it's not exactly what you want. Okay, like, we'll return back to the lane, but it seems like you're kind of stuck just trying to devour creeps by the tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, mid, Xiaoma going to show up. Love a toss back onto small KK if he could find it, but instead is going to run into Ranfu Dao. And Xiaoma, going to be okay to just walk out, even forcing a sentry ward placement there from Ranfu Dao. Not going to amount to anything. Gets a banner in for his trouble and just walks away, back down towards the bot lane where they will continue trying to pressure Lonfer on this Drow, who again isn't having the greatest time. He's 25-3, not the worst CS to speak of, but you can tell by his positioning he just does not feel like he's safe.
Yeah, he's standing so far back. He's paying a lot of respect out to Xiaoma, who has again set up time and time again. He is protected by a ward as well, so it's allowing a little bit of a defensive play coming out for Poke. But with this kind of laning start for Lonfer, your Drow will definitely just be maybe camping the jungle for a little bit longer early on. Not going to have that early impact with, say, a quick timing on Dragonlance and just running around using your aura to buff up your allies, get a good push going. And that should provide opportunities for the side of outsiders. Like, again, this is still basically free farm for XM, despite the back and forth Killa can apply. This Battle Fury set for XM, gonna be a lot faster than you'd want it to be for Poke to see. It's gonna be a bit of an issue in trying to stop him now, and they've got the toss back coil play if they want to try.
Oh, the creeps though are surrounding Xiaoma, eventually gonna get the perfect timing on the leash break, but they are still lacking maybe a little bit of damage though. Small KK, the jump on the spot does get caught out, and now even Aaron kind of trapped between the ice shards will get taken out. Great rotations here from Xiaoma. And of course our Lich as well outside, and well, that's a big one because that was the one hero that was having a pretty darn good time on the map. 50-11 was the CS score of the Zeus, but now he's down. It means outsiders really starting to catch up here on their puck, and well, more importantly, the side lanes have already gone so darn well. Like, everything just kind of going splendidly here for the Dire.
they've done everything right. They are trying to rotate onto XM, and they drag small KK up top as well. Your big issue in this lane for Killa is that the large camp has been blocked this entire time. Like, it's been reblocked, they drop the sentry to try to deward, they don't manage to find it. And this Doom, without anything to harass out the Ursa, without any of those creep skills, it just doesn't stop it. So you get the farm up, you are backed away because small KK is there, but it's no issue for XM to farm jungle with a Ring of Health up. He's got the sustain, you've got room to shove in bot. Ava just using that Exo quite effectively to take an objective, no defense coming out from Poke. And as this map shrinks, with a Doom behind, and with a Drow kind of struggling, it's going to be a bit rough trying to get those heroes online. As long as Outsiders plays tempo, and keeps that aggression that they've been keeping up from the laning phase, there might not be any room to farm for these cores if they're not careful.
Ranfu down, nice snowball away. Back towards the dire creep wave is going to be okay for now, but the chase is ongoing. Dream Coil going to land, and with that, he really should have no way out. I mean, it is a lot of commitment here by Outsiders. 4 heroes rotating to make that kill happen, and it is only a support tusk that they get for their trouble. But it seems like they're more than happy to just keep roaming the map and finding these kills. His power rune timing is there, but it is going to be bottom side. The puck did make the jump in, so Echo's now in a spot of danger as small KK should have the damage output, but goes for the silencer and the puck and the stick charges. He's barely going to survive. Doom committed on the DP, but what does it matter? He's full HP, still going in for the right clicks. Killa. Well, Killer's going to try to run, snowball out, they'll try to trade Outside's life, but the Lich is still walking away, and now the Doom will wear off. This is where the problem starts. Ranfu down. Oh, toss back onto the DP. They won't go for the dive in. At least they don't lose too much more, only the mid-Zeus. But again, that is their highest net worth hero for the side of Poke. That's the one hero they don't really want to lose right now if they can avoid it. Rotations in top lane, small XM. Excuse me, small KK is what I was meant to say. At least does find Xiao Ma. Really wanted the Ursa though if he could have afforded to get him, but couldn't quite. And Killer,
And
bit of a jump in from our Ursa, gets ensnared up here by a Killer. But with the ensnare, or rather the enrage committed, not really going to matter. XM will just casually walk away.
and they're still set to go. And Ava's just up top, they're smoking up on Echoes and outside. They know they've left Lonfer alone for a while here. If they manage to find that kill, you're just setting back every core equally on the side of Poke now.
Oh, Lonfer. Not again. You'll see them with the smoke break. He is still caught out by the Dream Coil. No rotations incoming because there's no towers around apart from the outpost and the Chain Frost. He's just going to bounce right through those creeps. Taking down the Drow. Echoes will secure the kill on the puck. I mean, you already talked about Lunfer struggling. He's sitting at 3.8k net worth. You compare that to the 5.5k of XM. That's a massive difference, especially 12 minutes into the game. And this Drow, like, while they can flash farm in the jungle, against the Battle Fury Ursa, it doesn't feel like you can really keep up.
Yeah, I think you can keep up. It's just that you're not going to build a lead off.
Killer?
Which is really crucial there, huh?
Killer moves back in. Lunfer may get gifted a kill here, so I suppose you could make the argument it might be worth. Lunfer does need any kind of gold he can get right now on the Drow. So, yeah, he trades his life away for that. Still finds the kill. I suppose the thing was for this DP, he was going to die anyway.
Yeah, it was set to fall, but no, you take what you can get at this point. Like, you need every single bit of catch-up you can find with a 4k deficit. That's a 4k deficit with a Doom with Midas. Granted, it's a pretty fresh Midas, but it's still not a great feeling right now for Poke. They definitely need a lot more time to build back up. There are some worrying timings for Poke to watch out for from Outsiders, though. Blink for Xiaoma, not too far off. You can just easily connect for any sort of range on the Dream Coil, toss back at that point, get the coil break, start to play aggressive off the back of that. Ranfu is smoked up, but his Zeus isn't really willing to come along with him. Maybe just trying to use Lunfer as bait here, but no one inside of the Outsiders really biting that bait yet, although they could try on Echoes. They need to land a Gust if they really want that kill, though. If they don't, well, Puck's just going to slip away here.
Absolutely. Mid lane, small KK again being targeted. Jama right on target, looking for a toss back. We'll get it onto Ava. He's already used that heavenly jump, so there's no chance of getting out. Best they could hope for is catching out the Tiny, but it's not going to be worth it. Maybe they could even think about the puck. Gust will land. They will try to make the play onto Echoes, but the silence is just not going to last, and now Lanfeur's been caught out. It's only getting worse for Poke. They lose the mid Zeus, and now they're going to lose the safe lane Drow. Xiaoma, he will drop, but it doesn't matter. Aaron? He's also just dead. There's no escape. Outsiders from China just looking so damn powerful for this game number 3, and they'll look for that mid-tier 1 tower now with the Exorcism.
The worst thing about that kill as well on our Tiny was that they had to expend Doom on Tiny. So that's on cooldown. And all things considered, you're probably not looking to join these fights as Killa anyway. So you use the Doom, get a kill, go back to farming. But with that mindset, again, you're just sharing farm with the Drow. In comparison to Outsiders, all the cores are playing except for XM. They are allowing XM to just play with his Battle Fury and allow him to farm while everyone else makes space quite effectively on the side of Outsiders. So, I mean, you are building up. You need so much more time on the side of Poke. Like, Dragonlance is up, Hurricane Pike next for Lanfeur. Once you get a shard, it can feel a little bit better going into these fights, but if you think about the core that does want to play active, it's really only small KK, and he has a Zeus and a Tusk to play with. Mind you, there is burst play there. It's not the easiest ganks to pull off. And with Outsiders being as far ahead as they are, the opportunities just don't present themselves. So you're forced to play a passive game. You're forced to be the ones on a response. And you're still trading heroes away like this. It's just not a great feeling in this kind of game state for Poke.
In Poke, they're not out of this game yet, but they are 6k behind. They certainly need a lot of space here for Lanfeur to even think about having a game in this game 3. Lanfeur currently the lowest net worth core on his team. 5.5k is where he's at right now, but again, he's up against the Battle Fury Ursa. That's not going to be fun trying to keep up with XM. Of course, XM is just going ahead and rushing a Blink straight after. You want the closer, you want the gap close, of course, against the Drow Ranger. As the Ursa, you can just kind of delete her every single time a team fight breaks out. Not really much she can do about it. Even with the Gust, you could just have Enrage popped, and well, again, it just won't last long enough. It's going to be very important for Poke to try and make sure their positioning is perfect in these next engagements. But to be fair, John, this is a team that, to be perfectly honest, they don't play the greatest from behind, right? Like, when they do fall behind, it is a bit of a struggle as to how they get back into the game. And we've seen that over and over again throughout the Div 2 China DPC that we've been casting. And it feels like it might be a similar affair this time, where a team like Outsiders, when they're ahead, they really know how to press the issue. And we are going to see another 3-man smoke. Who do they find? They'd love small KK. That's the man they've been aiming every single time. Never mind though, Xiaoma jumps in, but no, they're gonna see the Zeus is what they wanted. Still, there is some backup. Xiaoma, somehow alive, Ava with the Guardian Greaves, will save the day, and instead Killer's the one to go down. He does commit the Doom in time, but the Exo's already there. There goes Aaron on the Rubik. Ran Fudao will be next up. He'll get the shards block, but no, small KK. He's caught again. Xiaoma just all over the place on this Tiny. And now Ran Fudao. They make the jump in. Crypt Swarm will land. It won't quite be enough, so at least the Tusk will survive. But it's just so tough. You lost the mid-tier 1 tower. It's a 3-for-1. You only find a support Tiny. And for Xiaoma, like, he's had this blink up for so long. He doesn't care about dying anymore. He's already got his item build going. Like, this is as good as it gets.
Yeah, he doesn't need much more than that. And the side of Poke, I mean, these things just aren't lining up. Like, yes, Killa gets the Doom off, but Exo's already flowing from Ava. He's not the target you really want to go for the Doom for. He's just so far forward, and he has to be, because he's the hero with a Blink and the War Stomp. He's the one with control and the jump in outside of the Tusk. But it just doesn't feel like your follow-through is that clear on the side of Poke just yet. And Outsiders, they can just keep running you down. It's like you said, Mike. They know how to press that advantage. They know how to stay in the lead and maintain that net worth and map pressure that they have. XM, he's working onto the BKB. It's going to be a lot harder to kite around the Ursa once that's up and running. They will try for a smoke play now on Poke. They don't have Doom to play with, though, but if they just collapse onto one hero with good control, they could try to find that kill.
But they can. We'll see what they can get done. Rotation to the top. Oh, Aaron. I mean, he's not too bad of a target to die. If he does get caught out, does reveal himself with that spell still. That'll be his death. Again, it is just a Rubik. So if you're going to lose someone, at least it's not one of the cores here on the side of Poke. We'll kind of accept that, I suppose, as they do prepare for a defense of the tier 1 top tower. Jama show himself underneath an observer ward for a moment. They'll make the jump in. Killer wants to get rid of this Tiny. They cannot burst him, though. Guiding Greaves will save for now, but eventually he does drop. And that Tiny going down is going to be enough to force outsiders from China to back off, as, well, they don't have that big jump in they're looking for. The tier 1 top tower is going to be denied, but I think outsiders, they don't really care for the gold right now. They're just more than happy to see that tower go down. At the end of the day, for Poker, at least they get themselves 1 kill.
Yeah, they get themselves a pretty important kill to break off that fight, because it was a risky jump from Killa. He did not have Doom for like 7 seconds. There was an opportunity for outsiders to actually try and go all in, kill off Killa, and clean up afterwards without even having Doom go off. So a bit risky, it does pay off. They need to take these risks on Poke's side. They just need to keep trying to reel back control in this game. They are smoked up with Killa and Aaron, but it doesn't look like they're really going out on the hunt. They do have the Doom ready, but they just don't have the forward vision to kind of play with that smoke at the moment. And side of outsiders, well, full BKB for XM, a few hundred gold away. BKB for Ava, not too far off fighter. So you have 2 cores that can just stand in the front line. You have to make that choice with the Doom on Killa as to who does get put down. Because so far it's really just been Ava, but DP with EXO already run, it really just doesn't feel like the highest priority target for the Doom. It's just a matter of circumstance. So
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I kind of agree with you on that, right? Like, if the EXO is popped, it's like the Doom, it just feels pointless. The thing is, you are denying the Spirit Siphons and the Crypt Swarm spam, and even the Silence. Like, it still has effect. Even the Guardian Greaves gets denied off with the Doom. But the thing is, Ava's getting both the Greaves and the EXO off in time. And here we go again. Killer's going to have another chance to just pop it immediately, but he'll blink out. Lunfer, though, has been caught. Doom committed on Zhao. It's just a panic Doom. It's a complete panic Doom. Dream Coil in, catching out the Doom anyway. He is going to be able to run his way out. But you lost your Drow. That's the one guy you need to not die. And Roshan, it's going to be open.
yeah, it's not going to take too long for it to fall. You've got the output with XM. You didn't have to pop your BKB in that fight either. Secondary life coming out for outsiders. Now going back to that point of a panic Doom here, Mike. I feel like if you are playing Doom, you've got to blast some music in the back. You know, get yourself pumped up. If you're playing Doom, you've got to live up to the name of Doom. Listen to some Doom OST. You know, put some. The only thing they fear is you. Just blast that in the background. You know, get pumped up. Be excited.
I mean,
you can't just keep doing this timely, because that's like twice or thrice that he's went for Xiao Ma, and it's like, all right, that's definitely a step down from dooming up Ava. Because the Tiny, once he blinks in, gets the initial avalanche toss, he's done his job.
The thing is, like, it's just so... Oh, no, small KK. He went for a TP in the tree line, but Xiaoma, he knew he was there. Run Fudel. At least he TPs out Dream Cores in a second. Oh, so close. Literally a second off that Dream Core being off cooldown. Mid lane Lunfer, not him. Oh, you've even got the Shanzad on outside now, so he's got that damn Ice Spire. Which does seem like a garbage spell, but it actually can be quite useful. Especially when you're very ahead.
It's not garbage. It's definitely not garbage. It allows you to set up for solo Chain Frost, give you a solid bouncing target. It's a really good slow to kind of have in the area. It's actually pretty damn good for the cost. 25-second cooldown, 15-second duration. Uptime is pretty damn good. It's a very good value shard. I think the one reason why we don't see it much is purely down to the fact that we don't see Lich much as well. But the shard is good. I will defend that. It's a good shard.
I miss when you could deny creeps as Lich, man. That was the golden times. You know? Yeah. I think Blizzard was saying on I don't know if it was in the back rooms
in downtime, but he was saying he did play a lot of mid lich in the sense that he would camp mid and just eat the creeps.
I remember. That was on panel, and I feel his pain, John. I've had the same experience, not on a pro team, obviously just a pub, but it does feel that way sometimes when you do have that spell up where you just deny creeps over and over again for your mid laner. Speaking of mid laner, mid lane killer, gonna break the smoke immediately onto Ava. So no smoke rotation to come out from Poke. But the thing is, like, XM's still just free farming. Like, you look at this Ursa, he's just having a great time. They'll see Xiaoma, but he just casually walks out. There's so much hesitation from Poke, and this is kind of where I was going earlier. Poke's that kind of team where they've got talent. They know what they're doing, but if they fall behind, it's very hard to know how to come back. And you tend to have that problem with newer teams. They have this issue where they don't know how to come back if their plan falls apart. And we're kind of seeing it now. Like, smoke popped, nothing happens. Outsiders, no hesitation. They'll pop their own smoke, rush into the mid lane. At the very least, they do back off at the right time, but you've got to be so wary of this Tiny, because Xiaoma will look around, and Small KK, he's around the area. Smoke is broken. They see the Zeus.
Boy.
No hesitation, jump in with the Dream Coil. It is whiffed. Xiaoma, who has he got? He found the Tusk. Doom was committed. They at least got the Ursa's Aegis down. That's something, but that was Doom committed for that. And this tier 2 mid tower, it's just not going to last. In fact, Echoes, he even found Aaron, and in goes Xiaoma, no fear, fighting Lanfur, forcing the buyback out from Ranfu down to boot. And they're just happy with that. Outsiders, they won't stick around for the mid tier 2 tower. They didn't have a creep wave. They may go back in now, but that team fight, like, you found the Drow, you force a buyback from the Tusk. Small KK drops as well. It's just so rough, man.
Yeah, and I have to say, the Dooms just haven't been the best. Oh, Killa.
I mean, they've jumped into the Lich. Outside kind of just jumped in to put the Spire down and does get punished, but now Killa just getting shredded by XM. Ranfu Dao, he dies back immediately on the Tusk. Look at XM. He might die, but no, he just pops his BKB.
Oh.
Yeah, that's called a bait if I've ever seen one.
Oh, the ballsy play coming out there from XM. Just looking back at that previous fight, like when they still had Aegis and Outsiders, Killa dooms the Ursa with Aegis. Like,
yeah.
I get that you need to find a way to handle the Ursa, but you need that for the secondary life to guarantee that kill. With Doom taken out of the picture, like, you're just not going to be contributing much there outside of the War Stomp again on the jump in, but your follow through is gone. So they need to get some good Dooms going here on Poke's end. After the BKB, normally it's Octarine that we've seen a lot of players go for. I would actually not mind something like an Ags. Like, just go Ags Doom, AoE Doom fixes your issues. You don't need to worry about who to target when you can just jump forward and have so many people go, oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so tough, John. It really is. There's no space in the map left for Poke. 17k advantage for Outsiders. I mean, they could just wait for next Roshan if they want to play this safely. Just aim for those tier 2 towers. But in terms of farming pace, in terms of farming space, there is none to speak of here. Poke, they are trapped within a rock and a hard place. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, it's a hard recovery for Poke. I mean, they're not out of it. They can stall the game out with a Zeus, right? You can just shift back every wave that goes onto the high ground quite safely, especially with that Aether Lens up and running. So you can just prevent that move onto the high ground, at the least, for as long as possible.
Jump in,
I just don't know when you...
Small KK. This Tiny's doing such a fantastic job. Perfect initiations every single time from Xiaoma. And now the tier 2 top tower to go down. They might even have time to go after the racks if they want. Like, at least force a buyback out from Small KK. We'll see if they want to, though, because half the duration of EXO is gone.
Yep. Still should just find that tier 2, no problem. And without the Zeus, that entire thing I rambled on about holding high ground, it is a little bit tougher. At least the respawn's not too far off. I think the one thing, this is going to sound a bit crazy, but there is one thing I'd like to see a Lich do some point, Mike. Go for Ags BKB. I want to see that.
Ags BKB?
No, Sinister... Yeah, just Sinister Gaze. for like 2.5 seconds with the BKB, stare them down, get the Chain Frost going. It's a very baller thing to do. You know what?
I mean, it's...
Put a blink on top as well. Blink into them, BKB, and then gaze, drop your Spire, and get the Chain Frost. That's a baller.
Let's be frank, though. That's probably one of the worst ags in the game. Right? Like, it feels real bad. 4.2k for that.
Yeah.
It feels bad, man.
It is. In a way, if you think about it, it's kind of like Storm Vortex, but you channeled it. So
yeah,
it has a pretty big trade-off there. If it had a little bit more positives, like a little bit more to make it viable, I think it would be legit. Because that control is crazy. It's just subpar. Like Storm is just better.
If they added like something like, instead of just being a 10% mana drain per second, if they made it like something ridiculous, where you just drain all their mana with the gaze, maybe? Well, think about it though. Like if they upped it, right? So you got Ags and it went up to like 30%, right? That would actually be kind of good. Maybe. Big smoke up. 5-on-5 engagement to come. Oh, Xiaoma, he's already broken some smokes. Killer, he's gonna see the Puck trying to chase him down. Found no Doom yet, and now the silence is out. They've got the Doom down. The gaze will hold him. Small KK, he made the toss in. He's gone. Oh, Xiaoma, leave the Zeus alone. Lunfer, he will at least TP out with the BKB. Who would win, John? A small pile of rocks or a literal god? Right now, those rocks are doing a great work. It's Echoes. He's going to be able to get out just fine. But the mid-racks, they're probably going to be under siege now.
Oh, it's not going to take too long with the Exo back up and running. No Fortify left as well for Poke. They can try for another Doom play on the respawn, but I don't know. I don't see an angle back. They'll at least drop a set of racks, maybe two. I think if Outsiders were really feeling ballsy, they could just probably go for the end here.
They might try. Mid-racks going down. Looks like they want to play this safely. Again, a lot of the line on this series, they don't want to throw this game 3 away if they can avoid it. Roshan is up in 30 seconds as well, so a lot to play for. You may as well just go secure Roshan, then come back to the high ground when Exo's back up. That's exactly what they're probably going to do. Meanwhile, Poke seems like they were trying to chase for a potential straggler, but we'll find nothing. And now it's all about the Roshan fight. Like, Poke, if they lose the next Roshan, it kind of feels like you may as well call GG. The thing is, they can't really afford to not fight in the Roshan pit, right? Like, I don't think they can afford to sit high ground and wait. They have to try for it.
Yeah, they have to. They have to put a fight up. Because again, this is Poke's one shot of avoiding tiebreakers here. They need to find this win to get out of this 3-way deadlock with Cloud and Meteor, assuming Meteor loses to VG, which I think that's pretty much what we're all assuming. Oh.
Jump in. Gust is there to try and protect from this tiny kick away as well. Meanwhile, Ava just going to pop the BKB move in without the Exo. It's just not going to matter. Aaron's already gone. Ranfu down drops. Killer's gone to boot. XM just cleaning up in the back, and now Lunfer. BKB will wear off. The chase isn't going. Just look at this, John. They're just chasing them down. They don't even have their ults up. GG's called. They've had enough. Outsiders, I mean, they had a bit of a bump in the road in game 2, dropping that one game, but ultimately they still proved to be the much better team in this series.